Live from Atlanta. We keeping things swanky with that new K.L.P. It's the Spectrum Podcast with Kennedy Lucas, Damian Marks, Simone Teagues, and Monica Gray.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. This is the Spectrum Podcast with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the studio. I know it's late on a Tuesday, November 26th, while we're presenting this episode, but we wanted to give you guys a due justice when it comes down to the podcast and the podcast shows for sure. Welcome. We're so thankful that everybody that tuned in, that's watching and listening to this episode, we are very, very appreciative for that. Audio only version podcast for Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, back into the studio. Got my girl Monica here as our other co-host. We'll check in with her right now. Just wanted to say, Damian Marks, he's out of this episode. We have a big announcement. If you guys have not already seen it yet on all of our social medias, a big announcement with the new tour coming up. So that's why he is not on this episode. He's getting prepared for the big announcement that we have for sure. We wanted to announce real quick on the radio show before we get to how you doing, Monica. We've got this episode, and then tomorrow we're going to upload What Happened Was podcast tomorrow with me and Evelyn Letitia. Another Grand Slam Thanksgiving type episode. And then for the remaining of the week, we're going to be shutting it down. Obviously, we all know this end of the week is Thanksgiving week. So I don't encourage any K.L.P. Entertainment producers, writers, script writers, directors. I don't anticipate nobody coming into the office at the end of this week. Everybody's taking the week off for Thanksgiving to spend time with their loved ones. So if you're looking for a new episode of podcasting of a radio show on Thursday and or Friday and or Saturday, it won't happen because nobody will be here. And then we got that big announcement for next week. We'll get to it. I'm so excited about that. I'm so giddy about it. But before we can get to that, Monica, how you doing, girl?
Doing swell on this kind of almost Thanksgiving Eve. It's been a glorious day. Outside was just right. Sun is shining, sun is beaming. Everybody is ready for another exciting podcast for sure, but we've had quite a few errands to run during the day to get some things tied up. Getting ready for Thanksgiving with me and the fam. I don't know, it's a glorious time. Everybody is so interesting. Everybody was so outside today, right? Everybody is outside. I saw a whole bunch of kiddos going out there. Me and you both, Kennedy, we both went to Target, and of course you got a story about that, but just to see the kiddos outside and just enjoying their off time from school is really, really good. In my mind, I was like, dang, there's a lot of kids. They ain't in school, but then I had to remember, oh, it's Thanksgiving week. They probably took the whole week off. But doing really, really good. Very, very excited for Thanksgiving. I hope that everybody out there is staying well and staying healthy and staying hydrated and just getting ready to spend time with loved ones. I know this time of year, this time of year gets a little tough for some people, right? It's Thanksgiving, and then you got Black Friday, and then you got Christmas time, and that's always a sticky thing there too sometimes. So I do hope that everybody is having a slam dunk week, and I hope that everyone is ready to spend time with loved ones and eat some Thanksgiving food and just kind of rejoice and just to kind of reminisce on the year and just having a great time. So it's very, very exciting to say the least. I just wanted to give a shout out real quick to everybody out there that's been listening to our content. We're going to be, we had our meetings. Me, Kennedy, and Marks, we're gonna make sure we do more of this, of this type of show for you guys because genuinely a lot of people enjoy this type of content that we do for K.L.P. Entertainment. So, very excited. Shout out to all of our crew members, our staff writers, like you mentioned, Kennedy. Spend time with your loved ones. We'll see you guys, kind of next week. But Kennedy, I'll let you announce this announcement that we have coming up for the next week. And it's getting cooler. So I say to a lot of people, bundle up. You know, we went to Target. I had to get some coats. I had to get some stuff, some all of the girly things you might need for this announcement, this little trip we got going on. But everybody stay everybody stay, nice and cozy, nice and soft, nice and warm as you travel out. Traffic is getting more hectic now because a lot of people are just outside, either shopping, getting Thanksgiving food together, getting prepared for what they need to get prepared with. So we encourage a lot of people to stay warm out there for sure. But Kennedy, you have that announcement, and I'm excited too for you to announce it. So I'll be quiet now. Let you get to that announcement.
That's right, Monica. We have big announcements. I'm never going to tell you to be quiet, though. You ain't trying to get me canceled out here. No, but we got big announcement, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even say, Monica, that you're hearing it first because I posted about it on all of our social medias, but everybody is super stoked about this one. Yes, next week. Next week is going to be a fun week for me and you both, Monica. Now, I want to say that K.L.P Entertainment is still going to be rocking next week after Thanksgiving, after Black Friday. But yes, we are going on tour. Very excited for that. We're going to be leaving out Saturday for sure, but we're going to be in Chicago and we're going to be in Detroit next week. Very excited for that. You've got the Spectrum podcast with me and Monica live from Chicago and Detroit. That will be a audio version of our show. Normally what we do now, but we're taking it overstate to Chicago because we're going to visit Chicago and give you guys our take on the culture of Chicago and Detroit. Very excited for that. And then after the Spectrum podcast recordings live from the two cities, I will be doing a live show, K.L.P Aftermath, the normal radio show, cameras, 4K cameras, mics, all the works, hooked up live from the two prospective cities of Chicago and Detroit. I'm very excited for this tour. You guys know that I've done something like this previously. I've done it quite a few shows like this in New York, and I've done quite a few shows like this in Mississippi, in North Carolina. Those two were the most recent tours, quote unquote tours, and the shows that we did. So I'm very excited for that. Chicago, Detroit, K.L.P Entertainment will be in those two respective cities, not only for radio, but we do have some business up in those two cities, medical business really, but we've got some business up there as well. So we just turned it into a big extravaganza, big tour. That's kind of what I was mentioning with Damian Marks. He is one of our producers and directors for the tour. So I said, hey, if you're planning and being a coordinator for this, we'll handle the radio stuff. You just handle the logistics side of it. And that's where Marks actually came in when we hired him over here at K.L.P Entertainment. He was the logistics guy, and then he got on radio and it just worked real well. So very excited for that. Me and Monica, we're going to give you guys about 4 shows. Spectrum Podcast in Chicago, Spectrum Podcast in Detroit, and then K.L.P Aftermath live from Chicago and K.L.P Aftermath live from Detroit. So 4 total shows. You guys don't miss it. It's going to be available on all audio platforms. It's going to be on Facebook Watch, LinkedIn Live, YouTube. It's going to be everywhere, anywhere you get your podcast from. So very excited for the tour. And that's going to be next week. The entire week we're going to be out. So you're kind of getting some content next week. You're kind of not getting, you're getting content from us live from the cities, but you won't be getting primetime news because, I have to be the director of that and I won't be here in the HQ here in Atlanta to put that together. So we're going to take that a break for a minute and focus on this tour. So excited for that. And I hope that you guys are ready for the tour next week. We leave out Saturday and then we're going to be live in the two cities, giving you guys our all when it comes down to radio and content creating. And also within the tour too, there's so much going on with this tour, but it's photography. We're shooting photography pieces up there live in Chicago and Detroit because we're working on my new wall for my virtual museum, the Kennedy Lucas Museum of Arts, which you guys can check that out. It's available. We have our November collection out now. You guys can go to our virtual museum and take a look at that exhibit. And we're going to be shooting for some photography pieces from Chicago and Detroit, and that's going to be displayed on the wall for December for Kennedy Lucas Museum of art. So very, very excited. It's a whole business plan. It's a whole business thing going on, y'all. So very, very excited for that. Now we do have some things we want to talk about. And I will go out and talk about this for sure. Real quick, Kendrick Lamar's GNX aiming for #1 debut on the Billboard 200 within 290,000 units in the first week. Monica, let me tell you, this was a slam dunk for Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick is that guy. Kendrick is that guy. Kendrick Lamar gave us a surprised album. I listened to it. It's great. It's West Coast. Is Kendrick shooting a shot at some people, right? Look, Kendrick is lining up something, right? Now we got a surprise album. Again, it's a 12-track album. Apple named it the top number one in all 12, or the top 12 C's was Kendrick Lamar's songs from GNX, which kind of makes sense for Apple because I don't know. I think Apple is doing the music and the Super Bowl for next year, and Kendrick will be obviously the headliner for the Super Bowl halftime performance. So it kind of makes sense why Apple is kind of playing the game a little bit. But yeah, we got a surprise album, and I was so shocked about it. I was very, very geeked about it. A lot of good music came out, and I've heard it. To be honest, when I heard that Kendrick, Monica, dropped this surprise album, I heard it via the Joe Budden podcast. Shout out to Joe Budden podcast for sure. I listened to their recent episode, and then they were shocked because they didn't know Kendrick dropped. And that first hour and a half of that latest episode, I think it was bottom of the 9th episode, that's the title, that they was just analyzing the music quickly. I can't wait to hear what the guys in Mail and all them got to say about the album when they're done listening to it, especially Joe Budden. But I listened to the album. I worked out to this album. It goes hard. It's really, really a good album. It's like, surprise, I got more coming. We've got more music coming, more discs coming. We also got a Super Bowl coming up, so that's something big that we're working on. So I get very, very giddy about this kind of stuff, and Kendrick is that guy. This means a lot for his career. He's making units, 290,000 units. That's pretty good. First week, that's really good. He is making his mark in this thing. This man. And I'm just going to say it because I'm sure that people said it and some people might agree with me, but this man is an icon. And I know he's been given that role for previous times, but this man is a triple icon to where you're dissing another rapper. Shout out to Drake. You know, I still listen to Drake. And they went to that rap battle, right? And now you gave us a surprise album out of the blue, like, hey, it was no promotion, it was nothing more coming from that, but bam, there you go, surprises on your phones, it's on your DSPs right now. Very, very excited for that. And then now you have Super Bowl coming up. I'm sure he's going to feature quite a few of his songs from this album to the Super Bowl. I'm always curious about the artist's playlist of what they're going to play and what they're going to perform at Super Bowl. I've said it in previous podcasts, Monica, and I will say it again. I think Kendrick Lamar will perform Not Like Us at the Super Bowl. You cannot have a smash album like that and think you can't just not perform it. You gonna perform it, right? I'm pretty sure he will. It's dope. It's really, really dope. I really love the outcome of this album. Everybody was very receptive for it, so it really gets me going, and I listen to it. It's really good music. We had that good music, and then while I'm on the topic of Joe Budden podcast, which I'll dabble more into, Imani, but Imani dropped sort of EP, kind of. I have my whole critiques on that, and I'll do it here on this, and then I'll probably do it in Chicago Live because we won't be in a radio station next week, but man, Imani, you need it more, man. That album, EP, 3 songs was pretty good. I worked out to them. I listen to them the most right now. I think he needs a little bit more from this. I hope he gives us a full album for this, but Imani got something. He got bangers. I like all 3 of the songs. I really do. I do like ATL the most because obviously we're headquarters here in Atlanta, so it just, any artist that sings about Atlanta gets me excited. So That's my number. That's my favorite out of the three there. But Imani, he got something. So congratulations to him on his drop. Congratulations to Kendrick Lamar on the surprise album. That's going gold. That's gonna be the one. And West Side, Monica, they winning. They winning for sure.
Yeah, me and Kennedy, we've been listening to this album. I don't want to say nonstop, but we have been tuning into this album, and it's been one of those things that even I was shocked because I love hip hop, I love rap, I love R&B, and to see that Kennedy text me and say, "Oh, Kendrick dropped, Monica, Kendrick dropped." So I had to go and take a listen for myself. To Kennedy's point. Yes, West Side, West Coast side of things, they're winning right now, and I'm very, very excited to see that. I think there's going to be kind of a shakeup, right? It's going to be kind of a shakeup between the two sides, the East Side and the West, but it's going to make people want to perform and to gravitate making music in this industry and compete, right? It's been one of those things where it's been quite exciting to see the competition, and it kind of makes sense where a lot of podcasters like us, they're on the other people's podcasts, they're saying that, hey, we haven't heard from artists this month for new music, right? Which kind of makes sense. Maybe the artist knew that, hey, Kendrick's about to surprise us all. Let me get out the way. Like, let's get him flared up and out the way. So that way, when I drop, I'm speaking on behalf of an artist that probably postponed their album release. Then, hey, I'm going to uh, take a step back and just kind of refocus and let the heat die down so that way when there's no other music going on, I can pop out and release my album because it's tough. It's almost like the movie industry, right? Where studios find out where if you got a big blockbuster hit getting ready to come out, you do not want to release when a blockbuster hit is coming out because now you're in competition with that blockbuster hit and you may not make enough money, right? You want to release a movie where nothing's popping so that way you can get your licking, you can get your advantage of getting viewership in because nothing else is out. So your movie's out, so you go and go see that movie that's out, right? If that makes sense. So it's the same kind of concept when it comes down to music. I do want to know, and we probably will never know, Kennedy, that is this true? Did a lot of people who probably had a November release date push it back because Kendrick gave us a surprise? Because Kendrick is Kendrick, right? You can't, and no matter how many times you try to battle with Kendrick when it comes down to the music industry, if he comes out with a new album, that's his attention right now, right? And you're not going to gain that attention. So, congratulations to Kendrick. I wanted to send out on behalf of the cast and crew our favorite DJ Khaled. Is his birthday today. By the time you're hearing this, is still his birthday. But happy birthday goes out to DJ Khaled. Shout out to you. We the best. You know, God did. Hit producer. If you guys don't know, it's good to see that he's staying healthy and he's getting more into the limelight of things. So I get very, 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 very excited when celebrities' birthdays and whatnot, they come out for sure. Now, I wanted to talk about something juicy that I wanted to kind of give my own spin on it real quick because this is a question that Kennedy asked the audience on the other show. And this been his topic of conversation the most. Now, the question is, why are men becoming increasingly uninterested in relationships and marriages? Oh, we're back to that question again, Kennedy. And you guys look at his face. If you could just see Kennedy's face right now, it's so funny. So I wanted to answer that question because I don't think I ever gave my take on it. And I'll do it here on this episode. And this is based off what I've seen. So to all my ladies, I'm not talking to you to a certain type of specific lady, but this is just my observation. Um, and it makes sense. It makes sense now. You guys know, me and Kennedy, we are not married. And we're okay with that. I think men have become uninterested in relationships and marriages because some men, now some men are built for it, some men are not. I think men have increasingly become uninterested in relationships and marriages is because of quite a few things. Kennedy, you touched on it before, time and time and time and time again. But it is true when you say economics play a factor. It is expensive to go on that lavish date sometimes. Getting married is expensive. It's a lot of money that is allocated towards wedding venue, food, uh, bridesmaids, groomsmen, getting the family together, getting the food, getting the dessert together, finding a DJ, finding a videographer, finding a photographer. I get it. I get it. I'm going to step away from the marriage talk real quick and talk about relationships because when it comes down to relationships, we think boyfriend and girlfriend type, right? And I think men, this is just my opinion, so for my men, please don't attack me. I'm just a podcaster. I think it's become uninteresting in relationships simply because some men can't commit to the type of commitment quite just yet because it could be financial. I think Kennedy said this time and time again. I kind of agree that our generation is screwed in a way because it's all up into certain relationships. It's all about what can that person buy me? What can that significant other do for me? How financial are they? Are they making seven figures? Are they making a seven-figure job and have a big mansion and two luxury cars in the yard? And if they don't have that, that's my criteria. I don't want them. Right. And that's why some men, they tend to say, okay, well, women could become unrealistic with their expectations. So we're just going to focus on ourselves. Right. Man, Kennedy had that talk and Kennedy told me, hey, I'm focusing on myself and trying to achieve the best financially, spiritually, physically, and mentally. Right? And you have to be mentally, physically, and spiritually able to commit to a big relationship. I think there's a lot of relationships in our generations where, oh, they fall in love, they're lovey-dovey on social media, but we don't know if they're really happy in real life. We don't know if that gentleman's committed. We don't know if they are committed to that 50-50 type relationship, right? And whatever glitters ain't gold out here in this world. So that's why I think men or have become just uninterested in relationships and marriage because it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And I think you have to really know that person for years before you think about marriage, before you think about kids, before you think about moving in. You got to really know that person. Right? Because our friend circles that we had friends in our friend circles that are no longer in our circle, they had it to where they thought they loved each other, even though they just met each other for 3 months. They move in and voila, they have a kid, and now they're miserable. And that's not really a good way to go. It's not. Um, and again, like I say, this generation is kind of screwed up, right? We have unrealistic expectations. We have unrealistic goals that it's good to dream, but like you got to think practically here when it comes out to relationships in our generation. Some people in our generation, they don't think about that stuff. And it sucks. It really does suck. They say that chivalry is dead, right? But then we want to holler, "Oh, I'm independent," right? So you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. I think, and you've seen this on social media, and I'll leave with this. You see this on social media that uh, toxic energy is why men don't commit. They prefer their peace and their serenity. So maybe, ladies, maybe we have to stop being so toxic for our gentlemen. And vice versa, my gentlemen, you got to stop being toxic towards your ladies, right? Something to think about for sure. But that's the main question, guys. Comment below what you guys think. I know we talk about this topic a lot, but you know, it's this juicy. It's still trendy, so we still like to talk about it.
Yeah, Monica, right. I was making a face here in the studio. But it's true. You know, what she said was so correct. we talked, about relationships and stuff ourselves. And it's very interesting because when we talked about it, and we actually talked about it today because we knew we were going to talk about it tonight. But I was telling Monica that I've had the same conversation with my mom when we went to church on Sunday. Shout out to Next Level Church, by the way. I'm in that realm now of my fellas who are not looking for I'll rephrase that, not really dabbling too much into a relationship. Or I'm gonna take marriage out the way because marriage is a whole another different conversation for another day. But from my standard in relationships right now, I feel that I don't really. I feel like that if I'm not in a relationship, then I'm okay with that. And I think for my gentlemen out there who are single, because let me tell you, and Monica is a blessing and I love her, right? But when I was in high school, I thought that I needed that relationship. I needed to find a girlfriend or I'm going to be a loser if I didn't, right? Fast forward during college, I've been lucky. I've been experiencing some things with ladies safely, and it was fun. But as I get a bit older now, my priorities have shifted. And that's where I believe now where a lot of men are not committed in relationships or just uninterested into it because I've been one of those type of percentile men where I've had relationships with girls. I've tried to talk to a girl and we became friends. And you try to get it to the next level of dating and then you get friend zoned, right? And then because I've had quite a few girlfriends like that where we were good friends and we really liked each other, but then she would go and find somebody, some doofy looking guy, and she goes out with the doofy looking guy and then just kind of throws me aside. Right. And then when that doofy guy does her wrong, she tries to come back to me and I say, hey, baby, you made your choice. You made your bed. Now you got to lie in it. Oh, go back to doofy guy. You love him. Right. Go back to him. He can give you what you need because you shot me down. So I've been in that realm of that story. I think a lot of gentlemen have in this world. And as we get older and we're realizing our self-worth and our mental worth and our physical worth, and this is exactly what I told my mom. I said, Mom, I'm good if I don't have a girlfriend. Back then, I used to be so depressed about it. I used to be so sad about it. But now I feel that I'm good because I prefer my peace, right? I don't want the toxic energy from anybody. Right. And it's not to say that toxic energy and toxic women are a certain type of race or color. It's not, because black girls could be toxic. White girls could be toxic. Indian girls could be toxic. Asian girls could be toxic. Any type of girl, race or religion or color skin could be toxic. Right. And I've noticed that I don't like the toxic energy that people could betray on you as a relationship. I don't like the attitude, right? Again, there's no race, there's no color, because any type of color can implement that attitude, right? I can't deal with attitude. I don't like it. I don't really rock well to it. I don't know how to transcode it. I don't know how to react well to it. I don't know how to analyze it. So that's why I stay away from that. Because I know if I'm dating or trying to see a girl, she gives me attitude, I was like, okay, honey, yeah, we're not going to work because you got attitude all the time. I'm not rocking with that. I'm sorry. I can't give you that. And then I told my mom that, and I said, hey, I think I'm good. Like I'm focused, and I think I speak for quite a few men in this world that we're focusing on our paper, our money. We're focusing on our dreams. We're focused on work ethic. For me, I'm focusing on school, right? I'm focusing in on a lot of stuff right now that just requires a little bit more of my attention than having a relationship, right? I've had friends who had some very, very messy relationships, right? I had a friend that they had their significant other, they broke up, they got back together, they moved in together, they had a fight, they broke up, they got right back with each other, they moved right back in, they broke up again. Like, no, that's a lot. That's messy, and that's messy, right? And that's toxic, and I can't do that, right? And to Monica's point, and to everybody, to our point, is it's okay. It's okay to be single in this generation. It is. I'm perfectly single, and I'm happy because I have close friends. I have podcast hosts. I got my boo Monica, right? We're touring, we're filming. I'm getting more healthy. Y'all should see me at the gym. I be getting it in at the gym. And I can tell that some ladies be envying. I can tell some ladies be looking like, Kennedy looking kind of good today. Kennedy looking like a whole zaddy, looking like a whole snack right now. There's this one girl, she was looking at me, but there's another thing, and I ain't trying to go off topic, but I ain't really a fan of ladies who wear a full thing of makeup at the gym. I went to the gym today, or this happened yesterday. So, because I went today and I went yesterday, but this happened yesterday. Girl comes in, body right now. She fit, caked up with makeup, and it looked like she had lipstick on too. And I'm like, baby girl, you don't need to be wearing all that. You're pretty just the way you are. If you're at the gym, ladies, please don't wear makeup at the gym. Some guys do. We don't like that. We don't like that you feel like you gotta dress up like you're going to a prom event, or you're going to a gala, a Met Gala event when you're just working out. Because let me tell you, when you're sweaty, because you're at the gym, so it's humid in there. It's sweaty. It's muggy. Everybody's sweating, but working out. And that stuff will melt your face, right? It will melt your face. And it's not going to look pretty. When you're working out, you got melted makeup on your face. So I say to a lot of people, please don't do that. My ladies, don't wear makeup at the gym. At the gym. Wear makeup wherever you else. But at the gym, honey, no, you don't need that. But I can tell that women be envying. But like I say, I'm good. I'm at peace. I'm at peace with it. I'm at peace with my chakra. I'm at peace with my aura. I'm at peace with just being by myself in this relationship game. And it's just, and I said to my mom, and she shout out to my mom. She completely understood. She completely understood where I was coming from. And it's not to say that, it won't come or it won't happen, because would a girlfriend sound nice? Sure. Right? If I had somebody that I can love on and call and talk to and go out, take out to dinner and just have a nice time with, sure. Right? Because me and Monica, sometimes we do that, right? But we're pretty open, right? We're not tied down like that, right? And I looked at Monica, and we feel more comfortable talking about it. But I'm just at peace. I'm at peace with just kind of doing this thing solo dolo. And then if that right relationship comes in, sure, by all means, sure. But I think I'm good. And then the same thing happened. The same question asked when we were filming Saturday, and I said this to my film buddies, and I mean this, and I was joking, but I told my mom this too, Monica, that there are some women out there that are deserving of a boyfriend, but there's a lot of women who are dusty, crusty, musty. And I just don't want no dusty girl. I don't. Because, again, I'm not saying I'm rich. I'm not saying that I'm super wealthy yet. I'm manifesting being rich and being wealthy. But there are some women who just have one agenda. And to me, that's dusty. To me, right? I think some women out there in the world, you are dusty to me if you are only in it for the money. I think you're dusty if you have toxic energy and attitude. That's very dusty to me. And some dudes like that. I don't. I'm good on that one, fam. But yeah, that's just how that works. And we hope that everyone could appreciate that saying there. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know. I want to hear from you.
Did y'all hear about what happened with a bill that was no longer a crime in New York? So adultery is no longer a crime in New York City. According to reports, Governor Kathy Hochul, I still can't pronounce her name right, signed a bill on Friday repealing the 1907 law that prohibited adultery in the state of New York. The old law classified adultery as a Class B misdemeanor, punishable by up to 3 months in jail. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the amounts of adultery committed in New York before this thing was this thing became no longer a crime? Could you imagine how many relationships, how many people will be in jail because of this pass? To me, honestly, I don't condone adultery, right? If you in for a relationship, you should be in a relationship. We just came from a segment of relationships, I know. But if you're in a relationship, you should keep on with that relationship because you do not want to go to jail because of this thing. And cheating is just wrong, by the way, for everybody who don't know, but it does happen, right? So the New York State Senate deemed the law outdated. Assemblyman Charles Levine, who wrote the bill, noted that 13 people were arrested and charged under the law with 5 convictions. The most recent case was the 2010, but it was dismissed. I am so glad that this is no longer a crime. It's sad if you commit adultery, but it does happen. I say it's sad, but we don't like to judge people. Things happen, life starts lifing, and adultery does happen. Not just for the TV shows, but I'm very, very, I'm very, very glad that this is no longer the case, and I hope that everybody finds a little bit of the peace there when it comes down to that. So that was very, very interesting, to say the least. I'm very, very excited, for well, I don't even want to say, Kennedy, that I'm excited about this not being, a crime anymore, but we are glad that people don't have to go to jail if they commit adultery. Again, it's still wrong, guys. It's still wrong, but it does happen. So Kennedy allowed me to do our movie review here today. And I'm very, very excited to do this movie review because this is the movie that me and Kennedy saw last night. And I thought this would be very, very fitting to talk about. This is a movie that's available right now on Prime Video. We've got a review coming for not for this movie that we're about to talk about, but we've got a show review coming up soon. The Penguin. Obviously, we have family members tell us, "Hey, have y'all seen The Penguin yet? Have you seen The Penguin yet? Hey, have you seen The Penguin yet?" We saw the first episode, and we're gonna finish watching the episodes this week, so that way we can give you guys a full show review. Maybe we'll do it live in Chicago or Detroit. Comment below. Do you want to see the review in Chicago, or do you want to see the review in Detroit? Let us know. So this movie is a cutesy movie. It's on Prime Video, and it came out last year, so we're a little late to this game. But this was a movie that I saw. This movie got a 6.4 out of 10 out of IMDb, 77% out of in Rotten Tomatoes, which not terrible, not fantastic, but not terrible. This movie is starring Yara Shahidi and Odessa, and I can never pronounce her last name, Azion, sitting in bars with cake. They classified this to be as a romance comedy. I don't know about the comedy side of it. I see the romance in this. I think this could be classified as a romance splice of life as the genre. I don't see where the comedy kind of comes in with this. Now, this movie is really, really good. This movie will make you cry a little bit. There is a bit of some sadness here in this movie. Now, Sitting in Bars with Cakes, starring Yara Shahidi and Odessa Azion. Yara Shahidi, she's been in quite a few things, right? Grown-ish, that's the big role she had, was Grown-ish, her own spinoff show from Blackish. So we all know who Yara Shahidi is. Odessa Azion, she was in this show that's on Netflix. It's called Grand Army. Good show. I hate that it got canceled after season 1 because we saw it back in 2021. The show got canceled after season 1. It didn't make it, but she was good at this. So it is starring the two ladies, and we're going to use their character names because it might be easier. So Jane is played by Yara Shahidi, and then Corinne is played by the actor Odessa Alzian. She plays the character of Corinne. They both work at Capitol Studios, so maybe Capitol Studios had something to do with it. This was Amazon production. Capitol Studios had a little bite in this too. They both work at the studios, Capitol Records Studios, that's a record company in Los Angeles, bases off in Los Angeles. Odessa's character, Corinne, she is the executive assistant to Benita. She's like the big shot, Capitol Records A&R type person, marketing person. And Jane, she was going to law school. Spoiler alert too, because we're gonna spoil some things. She's a law school student. She works in the mailroom of Capitol Records, but she's just kind of the mail lady, giving people's mail, the entry level job as she's supporting herself through law school. And Yara Shahidi's character Jane, they they want her to get out more. They want her to find a guy. They want her to find that relationship. So they all came up with the idea, like, okay, she brought a cake to a bar one time. People loved it, and that was the niche that they were going to start baking cakes to bring to bars to meet guys. Right? That was the whole premise of it. Because you find out that people love cake. People love cake and ice cream. We do here in the studio. We love cake and ice cream ourselves, and that was the niche to where guys would talk to her more so she can get out more, right? Corinne is the character to where she is outgoing, she has a raspy voice, but she's so fun, witty, outgoing. She's outgoing. She has a boyfriend, but she can swing another guy in the bar if she wanted to because she's just that good and that confident. And Jane, she's trying to build that confidence from her friend Corinne. They're best friends since grade school. They live together, trying to make it in the city of Los Angeles. Meanwhile, there's trials and tribulations because the parents of Jane wants her to go to law school, but Jane is now realizing that she does not want to go to law school. And then Corinne's character is very sad because each scene or each of the scene, Corinne has headaches. And me and Kennedy thought when we were watching this movie, okay, something's wrong with Corinne, right? Something's wrong. You have a headache every day and you taking pills and it still ain't working. Something's wrong. You need to get an MRI done. You need to get a CAT scan done. You need to get all of the exams done. Turns out Corinne had a tumor, had a huge tumor in her brain. She had brain cancer, right? And as the story progresses, Corinne gets a little bit more sick, and now she's trying to figure out to navigate life. Her parents come from Arizona, and the parents are so funny because the dad has to fix everything, has to be the maintenance guy for everything that's going wrong around him. The mom is just weird because she just looks like she never gets angry, right? And then towards the end of the movie, Corinne, unfortunately, she gets super sick, and the last cake, they were supposed to do 50 cakes in the bar. For every bar they go, they're supposed to do 50 cakes. That was the goal. And the 50th cake was Corinne's birthday cake. Very, very sad moment. And Corinne, unfortunately, dies because the cancer spread and it got worse and there's no cure. And she ended up dying. She dies, and, they go on, and Jane opens up a cake shop, and she goes from there, and then she doesn't go to law school because she opens up a cake shop, and that's her true passion, but she misses her friend Corinne. They have some arguments and trials and tribulations because they're going through some tough times too. This movie is good. Despite the reviews from Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, this movie is good. It's romance, but it's a slice of life. It kind of reminds me of a movie with Seth Rogen and um, Joseph Levitt Gordon, 50-50, right? That's another movie that has something to do with cancer. It's a mixture of that and My Sister's Keeper, right? It was Cameron Diaz's movie way long time ago. It was those two movies put together and added a more romance to it, and that's what you would get in this movie. So I do encourage people to watch it. Available right now on Prime Video. Comment below what you guys think of this movie. Really good movie.
Man, I tell you, that movie was a complete tearjerker for me. I like good storytelling. I like slice of life, what happens in real life type movies. Um, like I said, I did just the chemistry between Odessa Azion and Yara Shahidi. They got chemistry, right? And wonderful actresses out there in the world. But just to see their chemistry in this movie is really, really good. And it was sad. It was the ending was very sad. I got really, really sad about it. But this stuff does happen in real life, and that's to me it's just good storytelling. And these are actually, and it was noted in the credits, y'all, that this movie was based off on true events. So you really get to, I feel like I got like a tearjerker because it really did happen to somebody out there in the world. So great storytelling, great movie. I know we're late because it came out last year, but this is something, if you're looking for something to watch this holiday season, watch that movie, right? We've got so many great movies. Like Monica said, yeah, we got The Penguin that we started watching as of yesterday. I gotta watch the full show, the full season before I can give you all a review because it's just a lot, right? It's a lot going on within that show. A lot of movies coming out this month and then next month. Tyler Perry's new movie, The 688, Kerry Washington. I'm very excited about that one. I think that's a premium Tyler Perry movie that I know a lot of people say a lot of stuff about Tyler Perry, but I think that has to be another good one, right? But yeah, it's movie season. It's holiday season. It's cuffing season. It's Christmas season. It's present season. It's turkey season. It's that kind of season to be had for sure. And real quick, I got one more thing, two more things actually. So PlayStation is reportedly working on a handheld competitor to the Nintendo Switch. I saw this coming. They are revamping because they kind of gave us something similar to that, to where the first handheld display, but you had to be close to your system, you had to be hooked up to Wi-Fi, and you can only play games loaded to your system and not like cloud service. So I think PlayStation's working on something to kind of correct that, because that was a dumpster fire. They charged $200 for the first thing we saw. Again, this was a thing where it was kind of a handheld, but it was a little bit big, right? And you couldn't stream games from your console or your library. Your PlayStation had to be on. You had to be around the PlayStation for it to work. That was a dumpster fire. No one bought that, right? I think I saw like one person in my lifetime that had one of those, right? No one bought it because there was no about it, right? That's why people refer to the Switch. I love my Switch. Y'all, I've been playing Zelda. I've been playing Echoes of Wisdom, and I also been playing Link's Awakening because I love Echoes of Wisdom. Can't wait to bring it on Thanksgiving Thursday, because we're going to have some game night. It's really cool too, Monica, because like all my siblings have Switches. Like everybody in my family, we all have Switches. So we're going to be playing Mario Party Jamboree, and we're going to have a great time. That's an handheld console. And Nintendo's still doing it. And I can't wait to see what the second Switch 2 looks like, right? And what's that going to be revealed? Will we see that at the Game Awards this year? I don't know. Sky's the limit. Of course, we'll be there. We'll be in the studio to do our live reactions for the Game Awards 2024. By the way, go check out our latest video that we did live from the newsroom. Of course, we did our nominations for the Game Awards. But like I said, Sony, they working on something. I can't wait to see what this looks like. But what Sony has to do is Sony has to make sure that this handheld console is affordable, number one, right? And when I say affordable, if they can possibly get away with $300, right? Because that's how much the Switch is right now. They might have the Switch a little less because it's holiday season, but they need it to be rightly affordable. They have to make sure that they can, if you cannot, you can have it load it on the actual handheld, but make it to where you can stream it too. If they made it to where they can stream it, now Nintendo has an idea, hey, we can start streaming our games, right? They kind of do that with the Nintendo Online, right? But with full AAA games that you can buy and stream on the handheld, I think that would be very, very impactful. They just can't do that dumpster fire they did for the first thing we had. They just can't do that again because they're going to lose profit. But congratulations to Sony. Congratulations to Sony. Now I got one last moment here, one last thing for the podcast tonight. And I thought it was very fitting to talk about it because it's quite interesting. Something that I observed while out today. Now, after the gym, I was able to go to Target. I needed to go to Target and get me three beanies. Ended up getting three because I had a sale, but getting some beanies because I do know Chicago and Detroit next week will be freezing cold. So I had to make sure I get super bundled up with gloves, jackets, and pants. That stuff I already had in the house. But I needed a beanie because I had this old beanie that it was just like 2015 old. Like I needed something new. And boy, when I tell y'all that Target, let me tell you, they target, pun intended, they targeted for our ladies out there in the world. There's no hate about it, but it is true. It's just something I observed. I went to Target today. The kiddos were out. Bunch of ladies in there in Target. And Monica was with me because she was one of the ladies. She was one of the girlies that was in Target with me. But boy, howdy, when I tell you that Target know what they doing, because you think about it, when it comes down to clothing, decor, makeup, right? Those are billion-dollar businesses. Sephora knows what they're doing. They cater to not just the ladies. Anybody can go to Sephora and get some makeup, right? But they know what they're doing. And I got so lost and so confused because I've been to Target before, but at first I did not know. I didn't know where I was going. I saw so much stuff in Target today. I'm like, where am I going? Because I'm just looking for the beanies, right? I go and find the beanies, right? And I notice that the ladies section of clothing, they have half the store dedicated for my girls, my ladies. Now, I love my women, right? And then for the men, they just had a little corner for the men. And I always thought that was just so interesting because where's the variety for the gentlemen, right? Because let me tell you, we like to shop at Target too. You best believe I love to shop at Target. Target's expensive. Sometimes I go for an alternative. If it's at Target, it's cheaper on Amazon. I do agree with that. But I was out. We're leaving Saturday. I ain't really got time to order a beanie from Amazon. I'm going to just go to Target, right? Make it quick and easy. I pull up in there, man. I tell you, it was a corner for us. And then women clothing and shoes and accessories. Don't get me started on the accessories. I passed a whole bunch of women accessories, purses, earrings, necklaces, jewelry. So then I looked at Monica and I said, I bet you they don't have any men accessories. Because when you go to Walmart, you get men's and women's, right? You go to Burlington's or Nordstrom's, you get men's and women's, right? Even Marshall's and TJ Maxx, there's going to be a men's side and a women's side, right? So I went up to the Target employee and she was gorgeous. Monica even said, hey, she's beautiful, right? And then I asked her, like, hey, do you guys have any accessories for guys, like watches, bracelets, necklaces that look more, more manly, I guess? I don't know if that's, what's described as manly, right? She didn't know. She looked dazed and confused. I could tell it was probably her first week working. I get it. I asked her, a trick question because, she was in I forgot whether she was in part of the ladies section, but it was another part for the ladies section. I'm like, all right, well, this is probably not your department. So, So then her supervisor comes out and said, hey, what you looking for? I said, hey, yeah, I'm just looking to see if you guys had any accessories for men. And she said, oh, we don't have any of that. I'm like, wow. So you mean to tell me all these purses, necklaces, bracelets, and watches for the ladies are here, but we can't have a section? Target, y'all know what y'all doing. I think it's wrong. Not really. It's not really wrong. You do what you do. It's your business. But I just thought it was so interesting because we didn't have a section for us. I think our section was the technology section, I guess. I guess that's what Target's thinking about. Because I did go to the technology section just to see what they had, right? We're getting ready to start shopping for Christmas. Christmas season is here. I'm shopping for quite a few of my family members. I'm so excited to be doing that. I'm shopping for quite a few of my friends. Monica, I got a little surprise for you too for Christmas. So it's a joyous time. But I think Target think that our section is the technology section, which is kind of accurate, but it's kind of funny. And that's just one of the things that I observed at Target. We don't have a clothing section. Even the clothing section for us was, now I found the beanies that I liked because I had got this really nice mustard colored looking one, yellow one. I had a red one, and then I had bought a blue one too, right? Because those are prime neutral colors. But even the beanies were very limited. And then I looked around the clothing. Clothing was very limited for the gentlemen. So it's just a weird dynamic for those type of stores, but it's interesting. It's funny. But shout out to Target. I mean, I still shop at Target. I still have fun shopping at Target. Not all the time because Target is expensive sometimes. Some of the stuff they have at Target, you can find cheaper on Amazon. It's the same thing. So we got to be, I say to a lot of people, PSA to a lot of people this year, be a smart shopper. If you can find it for one place and it's cheaper in another place, go for the cheaper option. I know Christmas is a little tight for quite a few people out there in the world. The economy is still not good. Things are expensive, and folks ain't got that kind of money this time around. So, blessings to those who are trying to make it for Christmas season. Christmas season is always hard on some people. So, I pray for a lot of people out there in the world. So that's going to wrap it up here on the Spectrum Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, again, next week, me and Monica on tour, Chicago and Detroit next week. You will catch you guys live, and then I'll be in person, and we'll be doing the Spectrum Podcast over those two cities as part of our tour. So we thank you guys in advance, and we hope that you guys look forward to it. Tomorrow we're going to be releasing the final episode before the break. Not final episode forever, but the final episode before break. What happened was podcast, me and Evelyn, we come back and we talk a little bit more about Thanksgiving tradition. So that's going to be an awesome podcast for sure, guys. As well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We love you guys. We're thankful for you guys, our fan base out there. Happy Thanksgiving. May your Thanksgiving be wonderful. May it be bright. May it be safe and sound from any harm, potential hazard, or any law enforcement. I do say to a lot of people, y'all, and I do mean this, if you are traveling on Thanksgiving and Black Friday, please be careful. Cops will pull you over because they're working on a holiday that they don't want to work. So I'm not saying all cops are mean, but some cops can get a little bitter because they're working on a holiday, right? So please be careful. Watch out for them because they don't want to be at work. They want to be with their loved ones. So that's their time to be extra mean. So please be careful. Just don't trigger or don't run into any law enforcement. If you are in a situation that might cause you hazard or harm, stay away from that because your health is too important. Thanksgiving, holiday season is too important for you to be hurting yourself. Rather, you could be with your loved ones for this holiday. So happy Thanksgiving. We hope that everybody stays safe, stay swanky, and we'll catch y'all live from Chicago and Detroit next week, guys. Stay tuned. We'll see you then.
Live from Atlanta, we keeping things swanky with that new K.L.P. It's the Spectrum Podcast with Kennedy Lucas, Damian Marks, Simone Teagues, and Monica Gray.